I'm all ready for Valentine's Day. Look at that bear. But my nails are not. Let's make the most romantic nails. So what makes a nail romantic? Well, color for one. You got your reds and your soft pinks, nudes, coral, believe it or not. So I mixed a little bit of my coral color and a little bit of my pink color, and I got this. So I'm going to go ahead and prep my nail, and I'm going to add that to it, make a full nail. So there's two things about art and nails. Nails, when you construct a nail, that's one side of a nail technician, and then there is the art. So there are two very, very different categories. You want your nail technician to be very good at the first category, but not all nail technicians are good at the second category, which is the nail art. So there's a lot of things they can do to make it easier. Not everybody can paint a portrait on a nail. That's a very different category of art. Structure and the build of the nail is the most important thing, and then you want to go with the art. So I am going to start with the build and the structure of this nail. Okay, so I'm going to get some glasses on so I can see the details. And I'm going to just put Let's Prep for that pH balance and make it nice and clean. And once that evaporates, I'm going to put a very light coat of Let's Bond on. I do have a thin layer of acrylic or gel. I can't remember the last thing is that I did on there. And the reason why I'm telling you that, it's important because I'm going to put the color directly on. And I don't want you to think I'm putting the color directly onto my nail bed or nail plate. Because if you ever want to remove that color, it's really tough to do. Let's pretend it was black or red or green or brown. It's going to stick to it, or glitter. It's really bad. You want to have a thin layer of something in between before you put color down. Always. That's like a hard and fast rule. Don't cut corners on that particular rule. Okay, I just need a little bit of monomer. I'm going to work with some Fast Set today. It's a fast curing monomer, and reason being is because this isn't really about the building of the nail so much. I don't want to take time doing that, so I'm going to do it nice and fast. And I'm going to spend more time with the art. Okay, I'm just going to grab my brush. Now I've chose this coral pink. It's a very soft coral pink color because it is of the romantic tone. And that's how I'm sort of choosing my nails, is I'm just putting together all the romantic elements that you want to put on a nail together to make this romantic nail. So I'm just going to build this out. Okay, so we kind of sped through the application. Sometimes I focus on that, but this video I'm going to focus a little bit more on the filing. Many of you have asked me a lot of questions about it, and I see a lot of comments. So I thought this video will spend more time filing. So I didn't spend a lot of time sculpting it perfectly, which I don't often do, but sometimes I do. I wanted to show you some filing. If I make it perfect in the sculpting, then you really can't see the difference. So I wanted to make it a little bit more bulky, what's more expected, what we normally do, especially when we're first learning. So I pick up a course file. I get a course file, and I sort of determine the parameters of the shape that I want. So the next romantic thing about nails is the shape. Almond, oval are the most romantic shapes. Happens to be my favorite. So I'm going to do my signature shape, which is still almond or almoletto. That's my favorite shape. Whenever I do any shape whatsoever, I determine the sides first. So in this case, see this kind of raggedy side? I will kind of just smooth it out. Not looking for any particular magic here, just smooth it out. And I'll do the same on the other side. So like you just kind of separate your finger from all the crusties. I could spend days talking about filing. So I'll try to brief by it. I'm going to get to the most romantic other stuff. Okay, so I will determine the shape, and this is a roundabout idea, and then I will look at the length. Now I do want these on the long side because I want a lot of nail estate for this romantic design. So I'm going to leave these pretty long. So now I'm going to just draw a line in my mind from the center of my finger all the way down to here, find the end point, and these sides have to go to that end point. So I'm just going to bring that in because I'm going to do that Stalamen shape. And I'll do that on both sides. Now, if you tend to go too far on one side, then you're going to end up with a little bit shorter nail because then you have to compensate it on the other side. So just try not to go too far. Okay, so I'll determine that. And I'll find a light source. And I'll just line that up. That was looking kind of wonky at first, but that's looking much better. Okay, then I'll look at it this way, and then I will stick my hand file, and I will bring up all that kind of uneven bits. I'm sorry, I just can't do it that way, but I showed you where I was, right? So that's what I'm doing now. Okay, now that's all done. So now all within the parameter of what I want to be, more or less. Now I'm going to take down the thickness wherever it's kind of bulky and thick. And usually I can start right on the sides, these two bulky points. And that's what I'm going to do. Okay, and you can also do that with the E-file. Just have to get the right bit in there. You can do it with an arbor band bit, but unless you have a course in there, it'll take a lot longer. So I don't really want to take too long. So I'm going to put in my tungsten carbide. And I don't put it on a high temperature. A high RPMs. I put it on between 6, 8, because I'm not going to go crazy here. So because this is just quick information on the filing, find your anchor point and go back and forth. Now, I have seen some say not to go back and forth, just going one way. Honestly, I can't find any reason to support that. I don't agree with that. I've been doing nails for over 35 years, and I have gone back and forth from day one. And I have to tell you, it will cut your time in half. When you are doing double time back and forth, you're doing it twice as fast. But you do have to have control of your drill. That's par for the course, right? You want to have good control of your drill. If you're not in control right away, go with a mandrel bit to learn that. Once you get to that position, you want to go back and forth. The reason being is you've got all these hills and valleys as you built the nail. And as you get more experience, you'll build it smoother. But when you go back and forth, you're hitting all the tops of those hills and you're evening them out with all the valleys. So it'll do the work for you. Just slide back and forth. Keep going over top of the whole thing like that, and you will end up with a very smooth nail. Okay, so that's what I'm doing here. Okay, now I'm just making it nice and thin through the free edge. Look at it sideways, looking pretty good. Okay, so now you don't have to do this. It's just a little cleanup around the edge. It just sort of, you'll find the more you do it, you don't have to do it. You'll find the reason you don't have to do it because you won't find anything there. But just take this little bit here at a very low speed, maybe 3,000 RPMs. And I just go around the cuticle and I just take 1 or 2 passes just to make sure I have a beautifully nice, even separation between the acrylic and my cuticle. Okay. Okay, we're almost done the filing. And all I'm going to do is, this is just my professional advice. I have skipped this step and always regretted it. I'll do it because I'm in a hurry, right? But I've always regretted it. So that's a medium or a fine, and just go back and forth gently on top of the whole nail. And it gives a beautifully even finished nail, especially when you're putting on a very shiny chrome or something. You do definitely want to do something like this. Okay, we've got our most romantic shape. This hand's more of an oval. This hand's more of a almond, almanetto. And then we've got our romantic color, which is a nude pink kind of coral combination. And now we need the flower. The most romantic flowers are, I was surprised to find daffodils was on that list, and orchids and tulips. There's my kitty. And roses, of course, are the most romantic. And roses' colors have different. Did you know this, Cameraman?
No.
Certain rose colors mean certain things, like yellow is friendship.
Ah.
And red is what?
Love.
Right. Which is often used in weddings. So I'm going to go with the red because it's Valentine's Day. This isn't a wedding. Otherwise, I'd probably go with white. Okay, so I've got some flower choices. Now, this is going to make a difference on how it looks. So you do maybe kind of want to try. Here, I've got 2 different ones. And there's just 2 on here, I think. And I really love them. I'm going to pick that red tones. So I've got one here. This is kind of a clear background. See that? So whatever you put on it, like if you put it against pink, here's a pink heart. It's going to look a little different, right? See the pink background, like if you put a gel color on, if your acrylic was that color, or your gel. And then if you have like a red background, see how different that looks? Very different. So it does make a difference on what color you have previously. So there's that one, and then there's this one. Very pretty. But it's got some blue in it, so I'm going to just forget that one. Then there's this one. Very pretty, but it's got a lot of green in it. It kind of reminds me of Christmas, which is fine, but it's not Christmas now. It's Valentine's Day. Okay, and then there's this one. Very pretty too. I actually quite like these as well. And again, if you put it against, we're not doing that, but just showing you the difference. And if you put it against a pink, that's really pretty too. Okay, so, and then you can even put it up against the nail that you've got. That's very pretty. I do like that. Okay, so I'm going to work with these 2. Now, foils, don't let that scare you. Foils is all in the foil glue, whatever you're using to adhere the foils. That's the trick with this stuff. So if you're not happy with it, it could be in the curing process. So I have got this product here. It's a foil glue. Now, I put it on and I only cured it 30 seconds and it didn't work. So then you kind of think, it's crap, it doesn't work. It's got to be 60 seconds. So I'm going to put this on and I'm going to cure it for 60 seconds. But I will tell you a tip is put it on thin because it can wrinkle. And you do want to get it everywhere because any part that you have missed, you're not going to have any foil stick there. So like I say, sometimes I'll wipe it off on the brush there, and then I will go back and pull some more off. I'm not actually putting more on, I'm actually pulling excess off. Okay? So I'm going to cure that for 60 seconds. Okay, so I'm going to take this chunky one. Now, I will cut it first. You can use it just like that and stick it on, but I'm going to cut it first. The reason being is it's just a little easier to manage. But sometimes you can cut in around the flowers rather than cutting a flower off, if that makes sense. I'm going to go this way, I think. Catch that little bud in there. And it actually sticks quite nicely. I'm going to make sure, I'm going to put it on, like I'm just trying to tell you beforehand, try not to get it too wrinkly, although it still works. So I'll put it down on one side. And you want to rub it with your finger. I find the best. There are tools you can buy, but I find with your finger just works the best. I think it's because you can just really feel it. It's really smooth. So just give it a bit of a massage and try to do it everywhere. Make sure it's going to be sticking everywhere. And if it's not, don't worry. There's a few tricks you can do. And then you pull it off. Oh, I'm going to stick that one a little bit more. Look at that. Beautiful. There's actually no holes in there anywhere.
There's a little bit missing on the tip.
Oh.
Little gap right there.
Okay.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, that filled it in good enough.
That's nice, yeah.
Sometimes I can't see that with the reflection. So it's hard to see when you do it at different angles, then you can sort of see it with the light. Okay, that is really pretty. I really like that. Okay, so now we're going to dress it up. That brings me to the fourth romantic thing on a nail is diamonds, gems, rubies. These are the most romantic gems. Of course, diamonds, right? We've all heard that. And then rubies, of course. So I am just going to now glitterify and gem up this whole nail. I've got a whole bunch of goodies that I'm going to work with. Okay, I think before I dive into a gem, I'm just going to get a little bit of glimmer. I've just got a little bit of glittery gel. This is from Beamy Beauty Box. Very pretty gel. They call it their Gold Leaf series. And it just adds a nice little touch of glimmer. I'm just was really debating on which color to go with. I have quite a few. This is a rose gold. I'm still not 100% sure, but you never know until you try it. Okay, and you can see this hand, I did a lighter. See the lighter glitter? You can see it right there. Mm-hmm. That's pretty too. But this one, I'm just going to go with the darker one. A little bit of an antique look, which gives it a little bit more romance, in my opinion. Okay, so I'm just going to clean that off so I don't nuke the gel to the brush. I have done that. So I'm going to give it a bit of a nuke because I want that to cure before I go messing about with adding the gems. So I'm just getting a builder gel and I'm just applying it where I want to put a gem. I just need my picker-upper. And I think I'm just going to go with this big diamond. Diamonds are a girl's best friend. Before I put all the other little gems, I'm just going to put a top coat on there to secure all the little ones I'm going to put around this big guy. And that's sealing in the foil as well. Okay, I'm just going to have fun and I'm just going to put all these somewhere. Okay, now let's go ahead and do some more on the other ones. Okay, I'm feeling this. I'm going to dress the rest and we're going to check out the reveal shots. Those are truly romantic nails. I love them. I'd love to hear what color combinations you put together, like what favorite rose did you pick? What gems did you pick? Let me know in the comments. I do read them. I'd love to hear what you did. I'll catch you guys in the next video.